Good morning, students. Yesterday we have discussed some JEE questions related to our chapter 6 linear inequalities. Now we are going to discuss some more questions related to JEE questions. Now see here. First question is solve this linear inequality x upon x minus 2 which is less than 0. मैं તમને yesterday भी बात करेली आज भी कहूँ છું कि if in inequality denominator having variable term, then you can't do direct multiplication by your variable term because we don't know the variable term is positive or negative. If it is positive, then inequality will not change, but it is negative, then inequality will change. But we don't know if this term x minus 2 is positive or negative. Therefore, we can't do the direct multiplication by x minus 2 on both the sides. Okay. So in this type of question, we have to do the logic is right hand side पर पहला 0 obtain करी दो. चलो तो right hand side पर पहला 0 obtain करी दीधो. तो already question માં 0 આપેલો છે. તો પછી આપણે શું સ્ટેપ કરે? તો હવે વિચારવાનું રહ્યું લોજિક આપણું. This ratio x upon x minus 2 is negative, that means less than 0. So here x upon x minus 2, this ratio is negative. Okay. There are two possibilities to make this ratio negative. If numerator is positive and denominator negative. Second one possibility is also that numerator is negative and denominator is positive. So there are two possibilities. First one is x is positive, that the numerator is positive and denominator is negative. Numerator positive, denominator negative, then positive divided by negative, which gives negative answer. And this also the first case, and second one, or this one or this one. Okay. Positive, this one is positive and this one is negative, which gives negative terms. Okay, or negative ratio. Or otherwise, second option, this one is negative and this one is positive. So see here, this one is negative and x minus 2 is positive. Clear? This ratio is negative, therefore numerator is negative and denominator is positive. Otherwise, numerator is positive and denominator is negative. Okay. तो एक नेगेटिव एक पॉजिटिव बनने केस लीधा न्यूमरेटर पॉजिटिव तो डिनोमिनेटर नेगेटिव डिनोमिनेटर पॉजिटिव तो न्यूमरेटर नेगेटिव. See here, solve this inequality. We are getting x greater than 0. That means the solution of this inequality will become x belongs to 0 to infinite, and in this x minus 2 less than 0. That means x less than 2, that means we can write x belongs to 0 to infinite and x belongs to x less than 2, that means minus infinite to 2 here. Okay, this is for the case number 1. This is our case number 1. Okay, now what is the solution of these two? By combining these two, x belongs to 0 to infinite and x belongs to minus infinite to 2. Therefore, we are getting x belongs to 0 to 2 here. See here, this is our number line. This is 0. So 0 to infinite, that means this term, these numbers, minus infinite to 2. Suppose this is your 2, minus infinite to 2. Okay, so these numbers, that means we can see that the numbers which are common, and means common or intersection between them, are x belongs to 0 to 2. Here 0 is not included in both the case and 2 is also not included in both. Okay, therefore we can take as open interval. બંનેમાં close interval માં હોય તો જ લેવાના થાય. Clear? આ રહી ગયું ફર્સ્ટ કેસનું સોલ્યુશન. સેકન્ડ કેસનું સોલ્યુશન, અને ધ્યાન રાખજો there is or between them, that means this is not our final solution. Final solution માટે હજુ યુનિયન આવશે વચ્ચે. Clear? Now see here, x less than 0, that means x belongs to minus infinite to 0 and x greater than 2 here. X greater than 2 here. Therefore we can see that x belongs to minus infinite to 0 and x belongs to x greater than 2, that means 2 to infinite. Here x lies between minus infinite to 0, minus infinite to 0, these are the x, and 2 to infinite, 2 is here, 2 to infinite. The intersection of these two, is null set. Therefore the solution for this case is null set. Okay, the solution for this case is null set. Now we want the final solution set. The final solution set for this, we know that this or this, that means union between them. The final solution set between them, 0 to 2, union null set, and we want the union operation, then the answer will be 0 to 2 here. So this is the method by using case 1 and case 2. See here, numerator positive, denominator negative, or numerator negative, denominator positive. Here and between them, therefore we have to take the intersection for this and this, and final solution for this and this, we have to take union here. Okay, in this case intersection, in this case union. So આ રીતે તમે ક્વેશ્ચન સોલ્વ આઉટ કરી શકો છો. ક્લિયર? તો આ રીતે ક્વેશ્ચન સોલ્વ થાય. નેક્સ્ટ આના જેવો જ એક ક્વેશ્ચન તમને કહું છું કે સોલ્વ this inequality x divided by x square plus 1 less than 0. X divided by x square plus 1 less than 0. Here x square plus 1, we know that this term is always positive. X square plus 1 is always positive term. Therefore positive and negative, આખો ratio negative જોઈએ છે. We want the ratio negative, therefore we have to take x as negative term or numerator as negative, because denominator is always positive term. Therefore we can say that we know that for every x belongs to R, x square plus 1 is always positive term. This term is always positive, and here x is that, which is your numerator, denominator is positive, the numerator must be negative. For the solution of this inequality, for the ratio negative, we want to take x less than 0. Therefore our solution set, which is equals to minus infinite to 0 here, minus infinite to 0 here. Now see the next question. Solve the inequality 1 upon x minus 1, which is greater than equals to 0. This inequality having 1 upon x minus 1 greater than equals to 0. See here, numerator is clearly positive term. Numerator is clearly positive term, but denominator having variable, therefore we can't get the denominator. But the whole ratio is positive. The whole ratio is positive or equals to 0. See here, the whole ratio is positive or equals to 0. Numerator is positive, therefore denominator must be positive to get the whole ratio positive. To get the whole ratio positive, denominator must be positive. So here 1 upon x minus 1 greater than equals to 0. Therefore x minus 1 greater than equal to 0 nahi lakhwanu. Reason is that because x minus 1 is in your denominator term, we can't take denominator equals to 0. Therefore we have to take x minus 1 as greater than 0, not equals to 0 here. Okay, so this term is positive, not equals to 0. Therefore, we are getting x greater than 1. Therefore, our solution set equals to 1 to infinite for this case. This is quite simple question. For logical, it is understandable. So, logic થી જ question solve કરશે, કે નવું વિચારવાની જરૂર નથી. Now see the next question. X minus 2 upon x greater than 1. જો ये 0 હોત ને તો આ રેશિયો પોઝિટિવ નેગેટિવ ના કેલ્ક્યુલેશન આપણે કરી શકત, બટ ये 1 છે. Therefore first step we have to do, make the right hand side 0 here. If denominator having variable term, then we can't multiply denominator on both these sides, and this type of question we have to do the right hand side which is any constant, then we have to convert it into 0 form. Therefore first of all subtract 1 from both these sides. We are getting here x minus 2 divided by x greater than 1. Subtract 1 from both these sides. We are getting x minus 2 by x minus 1 greater than 0. હવે જો એક જ સાઈડ તમારું કેલ્ક્યુલેશન થઈ ગયું. હવે રાઈટ સાઈડ મલ્ટીપ્લાય કરવાનું તમારે કશું આવશે નહીં. આ તમે એનો એલસીએમ લઈ શકો છો. You can take LCM of this and solve it. Okay? આનું રીઝન શું છે કે તમે એક જ સાઈડ કરો છો કઈ બી પ્રોસેસ, તો વેરિયેબલ થી મલ્ટીપ્લાય કરશો કે કઈ બી કરશો, ત્યાં તમને પ્રોબ્લેમ એક સિંગલ સાઈડમાં નહીં આવે. રીઝન શું છે કે તમે ઇનઇક્વાલિટીઝ ની સેકન્ડ સાઈડ જતા નથી, એટલે ઇનઇક્વાલિટી ચેન્જ થાય છે કે નથી થતી એ જોવાની ચિંતા કરવાની જરૂર નથી. ચલો નાઉ ટેક ધ LCM here. LCM is x. Simplify this thing. X minus 2 minus x greater than 0. X minus x will get cancelled out. So minus 2 upon x greater than 0. Now see, the logic is here. The ratio minus 2 upon x is positive. Here it is clear that the numerator is negative. Here it is clear that the numerator is negative and denominator must be negative for getting this ratio positive. Okay, for getting this ratio positive, numerator is negative. It is clear that, and denominator must be negative for getting this ratio positive. એટલે આ ક્વેશ્ચન માં આપણે શું કરવું પડશે ધ્યાન રાખજો. જો તમારે આવું ના વિચારવું હોય તો માઈનસ થી પહેલા મલ્ટીપ્લાય કરી પછી સિમ્પ્લિફાય કરો તો બી વાંધો નથી. If we are multiplying by negative sign, then inequality will change. Then we can also solve it. તો એ રીતે બી સોલ્વ કરી શકો છો. અને માઈનસ રાખીને કરવું હોય તો મેં તમને કહ્યું એ લોજિક, ડિનોમિનેટર નેગેટિવ બનાવ્યું. હવે આ કેસમાં જોઈએ. હવે જોજો મેં માઈનસ થી મલ્ટીપ્લાય કર્યું તો બી અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડિંગ તો એના જ, લોજિક એના જ. ચલો 2 is positive, x we don't know, but this ratio is negative. How can this possible? This ratio is negative if and only if when denominator is negative, because it is clear that numerator is always positive. Ratio તમારે નેગેટિવ જોઈતો હશે તો બેમાંથી એકને નેગેટિવ બનાવવું જ પડે. એટલે એક તો પોઝિટિવ છે, સેકન્ડ નેગેટિવ બનશે, એટલે શું થઈ જશે? Therefore we can say that x must be less than 0. Therefore solution set equals to minus infinite to 0 here. So our solution set solves that minus infinite to 0. Okay, તો આ રીતે આવા ક્વેશ્ચન ખાસ સોલ્વ કરતા હોય છે. બહુ ધ્યાન રાખજો. આ બધા ક્વેશ્ચન લોજિકલ અને ટ્રિકી ક્વેશ્ચન્સ છે, બહુ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ બી છે. નેક્સ્ટ ક્વેશ્ચન, solve x plus 3 divided by x less than or equals to 1. See here, in denominator there is variable term, therefore we can't evaluate this inequality directly. આ inequality આપણે directly evaluate નહીં કરી શકીએ. તો first of all શું કરવું પડશે? We have to make the right hand side equals to 0. તો right hand side 0 બનાવવા માટે પહેલા શું કરવું પડશે? 1 થી subtract કરો. Here x plus 3 divided by x which is less than equals to 1. Now I am subtracting both sides by 1. Therefore, I will get x plus 3 divided by x minus 1. Now, take the LCM. On left hand side, the LCM will be x. Simplify this thing, x plus 3 minus x less than equals to 0. X plus 3 minus x upon x less than equals to 0 here. Now, minus x plus x will get cancelled out. Therefore, we are getting 3 upon x which is less than equals to 0. 3 upon x which is less than equals to 0. Now, the logic is here. The ratio 3 upon x is negative or equals to 0. See here, 3 is always positive, it is clear. Numerator is always positive in this case. Now, denominator must be negative for getting the ratio negative. Therefore, denominator must be negative, and we know that denominator can't be equals to 0 here. Therefore, we can write only x less than 0, not x less than equals to 0 here. Okay. Therefore, x less than 0 is our solution. Therefore, solution set equals to minus infinite to 0 here. Therefore, solution set for this case is minus infinite to 0 because the ratio is negative or equals to 0. Here numerator is positive, therefore denominator must be equals to negative. That means x less than 0. Okay, therefore our solution set is minus infinite to 0 here. Now solve. Next question. X square divided by x square plus 1 which is less than 0. Okay. Now we know that x square plus 1 is our positive term for every x belongs to R. Same as x square is always positive or equals to 0. X square be positive or equals to 0 same. Here x square is always greater than equals to 0 and x square plus 1 is always greater than equals to 1, or we can say it is positive term. A term bhi kevi છે? Positive છે, greater than 0 છે. Therefore the ratio is positive divided by positive, but they are asking for the ratio is negative. Is it possible for any value of x? Ratio is negative for any value of x? No, if we put any real number for left hand side, then we can't get this ratio negative. Our ratio તમને negative કોઈ દિવસ ના મળે ભાઈ. Clear? Therefore, we can say that the solution set which is equals to null set, here there is no value of x exists, for this ratio is negative. There is no value of x exists for this ratio is negative. Our ratio negative થાય કોઈ જ value x ની possible નથી. Suppose I equal હોત તો equal હોત તો x square is equals to 0 માટે એક x equals to 0 solution set માં આવે. એટલે જો question માં change કરી અને આવો question બનાવી દે, suppose changes કરીને આવો question છે x square divided by x square plus 1 less than equals to 0. Then we know that denominator can't be equals to 0, but numerator can be equals to 0. Numerator તો equals to 0 થાય. Ratio negative નથી, એટલે x square બી negative નથી, x square plus 1 બી negative નથી, but x square equals to 0 possible છે. Therefore, x equals to 0. તો આ કેસમાં તમારું solution set શું થાય? So solution set equals to curly bracket 0. There is only one solution, singleton set. 0 is here. Okay. So this is our solution set for this case. Okay. So આ રીતે તમે question solve કરી શકો. Next, થોડોક એના જેવો જ question છે. Solve this inequality x square upon x minus 5 less than 0. This ratio having variable terms in denominator, therefore we can't judge directly we can't multiply it. Now see here, numerator is always positive term. here it is clear that x square is positive term. So here x square is always positive term or equals to 0 term. For every x belongs to R, कोई भी x ની વેલ્યુ લો x square તો positive or equals to 0 થાય. ચલો ન્યુમરેટર પોઝિટિવ છે, ડિનોમિનેટર no idea, but this ratio is negative. This ratio is less than 0, that means this ratio is negative. This is positive term. This must be negative term for obtaining this ratio negative. જો આપણે આ ratio negative જોઈતો હશે તો ન્યુમરેટર તો પોઝિટિવ જ છે, તો denominator must be negative for this here. So therefore we can write x minus 5 must be less than 0. X minus 5 must be less than 0. Therefore we can say that x less than 5. Therefore our final solution set is minus infinite to 5 here. X less than 5, that means minus infinite to 5 here. Suppose equality symbol is there, then the answer is minus infinite to 5. Open interval is outside because denominator can't be equals to 0. Denominator can't be equals to 0. આ બી લોજિક યાદ રાખજો અને આ ને કેલ્ક્યુલેશન માં બહુ ધ્યાન રાખજો. લોજિકલ ક્વેશ્ચન છે. આ ક્વેશ્ચન ના બે કેસ અન્ડરસ્ટેન્ડ કરજો. બંને કેસ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. વચ્ચે ઓર આવશે, this or this. બરાબર? ન્યુમરેટર પોઝિટિવ, ડિનોમિનેટર and denominator negative. જ્યારે આ પોઝિટિવ હોય ત્યારે આ નેગેટિવ જ હોય એટલે એન્ડ લખ્યું છે. બંને સાથે છે. Or otherwise second option is negative, numerator negative and denominator positive. આ બી કન્ડિશન બહુ ધ્યાન રાખજો. એન્ડ મીન્સ ઇન્ટરસેક્શન, ઓર મીન્સ યુનિયન. તો આ બંનેનો જે આન્સર આવ્યો બંનેનો યુનિયન કર્યો. એ કંઈક બીજું આવ્યું તો યુનિયનમાં બીજું બી આવી શકે છે. ક્લિયર? તો આજના વિડીયોમાં તમને ખબર પડી હશે એવી આશા રાખું છું. તો આજનો આપણો વિડીયો લાઈક કરો, કોમેન્ટ કરો અને આપણી આ YouTube ચેનલને હજુ સુધી સબસ્ક્રાઇબ ના કરી હોય તો ખાસ સબસ્ક્રાઇબ કરી બાજુમાં આપેલ બેલ આઇકોનને દબાવી રાખો જેથી આવનારા વિડીયોની નોટિફિકેશન તમને જલ્દીથી મળતી. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ.